Welcome to another video on the C programming video series for the beginners. In this video, we will talk about how character values are represented in C programming language. From the previous tutorials, we have learned that the computers can only understand zeros and ones, and everything has to be in the form of zeros and ones. So if we have a number like 12, then it has to be stored in computer in the form of zeros and ones. For example, this will be the representation for this number 12 in binary. Now the question is how the character values are represented. For example, let us say we have a capital A or lowercase b. How these character values are represented? In C programming language, the character values are represented according to a specific character encoding standard. The most popularly used encoding standard is ASCII. And these character encoding standards, what they do is they assign the character with specific numeral values. For example, in ASCII standard, for the letter capital A, the numeric code is 65. So when we say character A, the C language internally uses this value of 65 in order to represent this. Now, if we talk about storing this value in computer memory, then the binary representation of this 65 is stored in the memory. Now, depending on the system configuration and locally used, the character encoding standard can be different. But all you have to remember is that in order to represent the characters, an encoding standard is used. And when you use the encoding standard, the character values are mapped to unique integer constants. Now here, let us create a character variable. So it will be char, and I will call this as letter, and let us store this capital A in this variable letter. Now we know that we can display the character by using the printf function, and here we will say letter is, and in order to display the character we use the format specifier %c, and then we can refer the value present in this letter variable. Now if I save this program and if I run this, nothing special happens and we get letter is A. Now we know that these characters are represented by using the numeric code according to the encoding standard used. Now what we can do is we can display the numeric code associated with this letter A, and in order to do that, I will use another printf statement in here, and here I will say value is, and then I will have a placeholder, and here I will use the format specifier %d, and the reason for that is for these characters a unique numeric code is assigned, and that unique number will be a whole number. So here what I can do is I can use the letter variable. Now the difference here is the first printf statement displays the character as the character. The second printf statement displays the unique code that is used for this character. Now if I save this program and if I run this, now you can see the value is 65. Now if I change this letter to, let us say, lowercase b, and if I run this, we get the value 98. Now if I go for a, lowercase a, and if I save and run this, we get 97. So all you have to remember at this point of this video series is that for representing the characters in C programming language, an encoding standard is used, and that encoding standard assigns a unique number for every character. Now the next thing that we see is what is the character code for /t. If you remember, we use this for displaying a tab on the screen. If I save this program and if I run this, you can see the value is 9. Now here again, depending on the system settings, the encoding standard can be different, and that's why I'm not calling this value as ASCII value. Now depending on the system setting, the encoding standard can be different. Now let us see the ASCII value associated with the letter 0, not the number 0, letter 0. You can see it is 48. If I change this one to 1, if I save and run this program, you can see it is 49. Similarly, we can enter a different character here, and we can see the number associated with that. Now the next thing that we're going to discuss here is, we have seen that in order to store the characters, 1 bytes of memory is used. Generally in most of the compilers, 1 bytes is used. Depending on the encoding standard used, if the standard used is ASCII, then 128 characters are available. If this is extended ASCII, then 256 characters are available. Now if it is confusing to you, don't worry. When we keep on writing the code, everything will be clear. Now the last thing that I'm going to talk about here is about the sizeof operator, which we have used in one of the previous video. The sizeof operator is used to get the number of bytes required or used to store a specific type of value. So here, before continuing, I will insert a new line in the last printf statement that we have, and then I will use the printf statement in here, and I will say number of bytes used is %zu, and then I will use the sizeof operator, and here I'm going to use the data type char. So if I save this program and if I run this, there should not be any doubt. We can see number of bytes used is 1 bytes. Now what if for this sizeof operator I provide capital A? Now what do you think is the output of this? Let me save this program and let me run this. We get number of bytes used is 4. If you remember, in the previous video, what we have done is we have used the data type here, for example int. When we run this program, we get 4 bytes used, and instead of this int, if I say number 4 or any integer or whole number, if I save the program and if I run this, we get the same value, right? Number of bytes used is 4. But when I use the char data type here, if I save the program and if I run this, it says number of bytes used is 1 byte. And instead of this char data type, if I specify a character, it can be any character like lowercase b. If I save this program and if I run this, we get 4. It says number of bytes used is 4. Why? Now, the reason for that is, in order to represent these characters in C programming language, according to the encoding standard, a numeric value is used. And here, although for us it looks like a character we are specifying here, for the sizeof operator, it is like the ASCII value of this lowercase b. For example, if we had the letter capital A here, for us it looks like the letter capital A. For the C programming language, it is actually the value according to the encoding standard used. If it is ASCII standard, then the ASCII value, for example, something like 65. So the sizeof operator thinks that for storing 65, we need 4 bytes of memory. And that's why we get number of bytes used 4. Now, if you don't understand this right now, don't worry. Just wanted to show you guys that when we represent characters in C programming language, the number associated with that character according to the encoding standard is used. Again, if it is confusing, don't worry. In order to continue with the next video, you don't have to understand this last part that I have explained. But if you get it, then awesome. So this is it guys for this particular video. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button. If you have anything to say, write that in the comment box. For more tutorials, subscribe to the channel.